Hello and welcome to another episode of MetalCast from Metal Coffee Shop. My name is Karen Edwards, and today's episode, I am thrilled to welcome Jeff Henry from the Metal Construction Association to the podcast. Jeff, it's great to see you. Thanks for being here.
Well, thank you, Karen, and good to see you, and happy holidays to you and all your listeners.
So. Yes, thank you. It's that time of year. Wow. We're wrapping up 2025 and heading into 2026. So we wanted to have you here to talk all about that because MCA is planning their winter meeting in just a few weeks in San Antonio. But before we dive into the meeting and talk about 2026, how about just introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about what you do there at MCA and, get to know you a little bit.
Yeah, thank you. And, as you noted, my name is Jeff Henry. I serve as Executive Director of the Metal Construction Association. And in that capacity, I work with the Board of Directors in setting strategy and direction for the association, but then on a daily basis have the responsibility of working with staff and delivering on the expectations and the goals that the board has established. So this is my second stint with MCA, actually. I've been working with them in the current capacity since 2020, June of 2020. And I had previously worked also in a similar role from 2012 to 2016 with MCA.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So you liked it so much the first time you decided to give it a second round. That's awesome.
Yeah, I was excited. They, through COVID and all the changes that happened there and retirements and stuff, MCA had some transition and they called me in early 2020 and to explore whether I had any interest in coming back and serving them. And I was, super excited that they have that opportunity again and really enjoy working with this group of people and in this industry. So.
Yeah. This is, an incredible industry to be part of. And I've been to the MCA meetings and I always learn so much. So maybe you could give us a sneak peek for January's meeting. I mentioned the location, San Antonio, but what are we going to be learning about?
Yeah, it's coming up fast too, right? We're a little earlier than we traditionally are in the month. Our dates are January 13th to 15th in San Antonio, as you noted. And we have an incredible lineup of speakers and opportunities for people in the industry, certainly our members, to get together and connect for networking purposes, but also do some data gathering and gain some insights about where things are headed. We have Alex Chakosky, who is an economist. He'll be presenting. He's our keynote on Tuesday morning, the 13th. And he'll be talking about, the current state of the industry, the economy, where construction's headed, what will be happening in the arena for metal, and just the entire geopolitical environment as well. He'll give some insights about how to do business in an age of uncertainty, which is, certainly a time frame that we exist in at the moment.
Sure.
Then we also are excited to have Denver Riggleman. He is the CEO of his company, and he'll be talking about the engaging AI and how it interfaces and can be applied across construction and installing. Say he's a former congressman, served on the Consumer Protection and National Security committees, and he's a former Air Force intelligence officer. And I've heard him speak in the past, and he's had some really interesting takes about the use of AI and its implications, and how to develop strategies for informed adoption of AI. So we think that'll be a very interesting session and benefit the members across the board.
Yeah, he presented to a group of roofing technology think tank members, another industry association, and it was really, really interesting. And he has a background that is amazing. And, they're doing so many things to help contractors and the industry overall understand it, like you said, embrace it and adopt it in a safe way, right? Because technology can be a little bit scary. It can be a little dangerous too. But yeah, I really enjoy listening to him.
Fantastic. And technology is changing, especially with AI, is changing so fast that we barely have time to plan for how we're going to incorporate it and use it, right? So
Yeah.
I think he'll provide some interesting insights and considerations that members should reflect upon as they approach their internal policies and applications of that technology.
Yeah, for sure. And then you mentioned Alex. He is fantastic at taking a topic that is sometimes dry and hard to understand and making it easy to understand. Like when I've heard him speak before too, I'm like, oh, that's what that means. Now I get it. And he's entertaining as well.
Yeah, he's been excellent. We've used him in the past, and you've seen him. People become exposed to him, and now you've seen him start showing up at different conferences across
Yeah.
the industry. Yeah, because of just what you said, his ability to deliver it in a pragmatic, common sense way that's understandable for the layperson like me, and and he's entertaining as well. So, but really insightful. So good
Yeah.
information that he shares with the attendees at every conference I've heard him speak at. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So the registration's open. It's on your
It
website.
is.
Hmm.
Yeah. And so the numbers are adding up. Again, we're January 13th to the 15th. The hotel room block, yeah, is filling up. We have until the 26th, I believe, when the discounted rate expires. So anybody, I'm not sure when this is going to air, but if people take advantage of it, there's plenty of rooms at the hotel otherwise. So it's a great
Right.
facility. So we'll have a golf outing on Tuesday afternoon. Anybody interested in joining that? But certainly we welcome anybody, a member or non, who has interest in learning more about MCA or the industry as a whole, to come and join us at our conference.
Yeah, there really is a lot of learning, networking, information. It's really valuable for anybody in the metal construction industry. I recommend it, and I will be there. So this next question I'm going to ask you is, it's a doozy, I tell you. I want to talk about what are some of the top priorities that are shaping the direction MCA is going and the industry as a whole, as we move into 2026.
Yeah, there are a number of things that MCA has prioritized at the moment. Some may be a bit internal, but for the benefit of the industry, we've making a huge investment in contractor and installer training program. We're in the midst of developing an online interactive curriculum. We hope to roll what we call phase one of that out in late 2026, and that'll be metal roof installation guidelines and best practices. It'll address standing seam, through fastened panels, metal shingles, both painted and stone coated. So it'll be robust in that regard. And then in the future, we'll also be integrating, wall applications, be it single skin panels or MCM products and likely IMP for both wall and roofing as well. So a very robust curriculum. We want to be the resource for understanding or providing the best practice guidelines for the installation of the products that our members sell. So we're excited about that opportunity. We're also developing an education program for people that are, new entries into the industry. So what are the basic things they need to understand about not, metal? There's obviously the issues like, okay, what substrates are used, when do you use what, but also just understanding the different roles that people play in the industry, distributors and manufacturers, suppliers, and kind of a soup to nuts type approach about, a metal 101 type of curriculum, pretty broad. The early parts of that will also, or segments of that will also roll out in 2026. So we're excited about those, the opportunity to provide those type of resources to the benefit of the industry.
Yeah.
We're also looking to
Go
go ahead.
ahead. Go ahead.
We're also looking to expand our market development activities. That's our purpose, is to advance the use of metal in the building envelope. So we've recently gone through an agency review. We're bringing on a new marketing firm with intent to try and grow and expand our impact. And our educational efforts to our key constituents and stakeholders and those who make decisions about what products are used in their projects. So we're excited about that. There's the residential wall market is growing considerably, so there'll be more resources put there. And then, of course, the whole topic of resiliency provides opportunities for metal as well to leverage metal's attributes, and how we can further position metal as a resilient, sustainable building material. So, Southern California, any area that's prone to wildfires, I think there'll be a lot of activity around, resilient assembly design and construction. So we're looking to further our influence there. A couple other things that we have made concerted effort is just to reach out to our sister organizations throughout across the industry. We recently held a executive forum with 10 trade associations, all engaged in the metal roofing or construction industry. We brought them all together to sit down and talk about what are our common interests and goals and opportunities, and where do we have opportunity as an industry to have greater collaboration and greater impact, rather than 10 individual programs going on, which there'll always be that. But there are areas where we have opportunity to come together as one entity and have and really impact our effectiveness and our influence. So we've done that. Was the first meeting of that. We plan to hold that conference twice a year. So we've already identified a couple initiatives, be it research or statistics, those types of things where we have opportunity to have collaborative approach and input. And that includes a growing area of concern for MCA, and that's the whole government relations area.
Right.
As things have changed and evolve at the federal level, things are becoming more complex at the state level. And MCA is always, we've taken somewhat of a passive approach in that area in the past. We do participate in alliances that monitor those things, but I think there's real need now for MCA and some of our sister groups to become more active and understand what's happening, because there is a lot of activity at the state level.
Yeah. And there's a lot of states, right? So, it's hard to stay, and they're all different of what they're doing. And so, staying on top of that takes a lot of effort and energy and time. So coming together, as the 10, you said 10 or so organizations that are all involved in metal in some way, shape, or form, that's going to make that project easier to tackle.
Yeah, exactly. Because it is 50 states, as you say, they're noted, and all with their own design on how things should be handled and regulated, and it's kind of the Wild West at the moment, but it takes quite an effort to really stay informed, across the board.
Right. And I think, at the state level, when decisions are being made, they need to be aware that there are experts out there that they can ask questions of and they can turn to for information. And you want that relationship so they do reach out and they don't make a bad decision.
Yeah, and that's why it's important to be informed when there's new legislation or regulatory issues that are being proposed, so that the experts can have voice in that process and be able to share and influence the outcomes there. The industry is aware of what was going on down in Florida on the roofing or the insurance side of it, for example. I know a number of agencies had representation there in California now with the carbon emissions reporting requirements and the climate impact reporting legislation, which has recently been stayed by the courts. But having to have influence on where those things are headed, having the lawmakers and the legislators, regulatory bodies understand what the burden is as well, and being able to design systems for meeting the reporting requirements that are achievable. It's important that we have voice in those projects.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And you mentioned California and the carbon reporting. It's typically, it seems like California and Florida, or whatever's going on in California and Florida, then starts to trickle out to the rest of the country. So focus on those areas first, and because you get states following them.
Yeah, no question, they're the trendsetters, and that what happens there, then others, it opens the eyes to others to consider enacting similar in their jurisdictions. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I want to just circle back when you mentioned the online training initiative, because metal is growing, right? We know this, and more folks are wanting to diversify their businesses. Maybe contractors haven't been doing much with metal, and now they want to. So is this kind of the impetus behind being the place to provide that training?
Certainly, the growth in metal, yeah, has been a big influence, and yeah, we've worked with the National Roofing Contractors Association in the past. They have their installation guide that includes both wall and roofing. That includes sections on metal. We've contributed to those products. But we also want to have a broader and sense, and one that's unique to metal in general. So it's specific to metal. We've had IRE reach out to us about doing demos. So we've been doing, during the show, we've been doing install demos the last several years, and we'll be again in 2026. So just that growing demand, as you said, especially in the re-roof residential sector, metal's share is growing quickly. We've seen similar growth, in the commercial and industrial side of the business as well. So we need to be sure that we have people that are installing these products correctly and or just are available so that they can get installed. So
yeah.
A growing need, and our program will supplement the other stuff. We'll continue to work with NRCA. Our vision is that the training that we provide will kind of feed people into the NRCA Pro Certification Program, and and we'll work with other contractor groups as well to be sure that we're advocating and teaching the skills in a way that meets what we believe is best practice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Quality installation is so important. You can have the best product in the world, and if it's not installed properly, it's going to fail.
Well, exactly. We know that a properly installed metal roof is pretty much a lifetime product as well, right? So that's,
Yeah,
so
and contractors don't want callbacks.
Yep.
I'd like to touch a little bit on codes, standards, testing. What that whole technical side of things. And I know you have Bob, that is the technical director, and I mean that's his full-time job, is to be working on this stuff. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, certainly my area of body of knowledge that I'm an expert in. So you mentioned we have Bob, the codes and standards. He shares those responsibilities with Andy Williams, who also works in the codes and standards piece, but is also an expert in the fire side of it. So and there's a lot going on there, as you know. But MCA it continues to work to advance proposals for improving the codes. We have an edge metal standard, that we've advanced. We'll continue to submit new proposals that advance the use of metal or further and improve the overall roof assemblies. That's the main goal, right? It's not just about selling a product. It's about how do we make a roofing assembly more effective and perform better, especially in weather-related events. So we've had some success in Florida with the adoptions of. Our original proposal was defeated, but there's a new effort we have from a legislative approach to get the edge metal standards incorporated into the Florida codes. We're working. We mentioned the resiliency issue in California. The Title 24, Section 7 with the wildfire codes, the ICC 605 the standards for construction in regions with the wildfire hazards. A lot of activities and things that we're monitoring there, working with the IBHS, and how do we get WUI, wildlife urban
Wildlife urban
interface,
interface.
compliant roofing assemblies, and and then how do we work with other construction related organizations to be able to provide systems that are part of an overall solution to the challenges with especially with the wildfire situations. Metal isn't the sole solution, but it's a part of what could be a good solution. So we want to be sure we're looking and approaching this from a building wide perspective. So so people.
I know that when you talked about the edge metal, are you talking about ES1? Is that the
So FTS ES1 and FTS1, I believe, are the two standards.
Yeah.
So again, I'm speaking with that much knowledge
So me too.
on the codes and standards stuff. When my eyes roll back when they start talking about some of these things. So I just refer to Bob and Andy or as the people. But there is a lot of activity there, and we have done some work and some new test results and stuff that we're trying to advance and get adopted. And Bob and Andy have both been advocates at the ASTM meetings and others for incorporating these things into the codes moving forward.
Yeah. I mean, the ultimate goal at the end of the day is to protect the building, protect the occupants, keep everyone safe, and that it is able to withstand, flying embers, the powerful winds, the hailstorms that, and it's a win-win for all, right? For insurance companies, for property owners, and for the industry.
And the industry knows, and the insurance industry and others through our testing, we know where the touch points are, where the building failures are prone to begin. So how do we develop systems that are better equipped to handle the forces that are applied to them in those zones of the building or the roofing system? Of course, not everything is prone just to the roof. We have to have a building that can withstand, if a garage door fails, in a wind event, well, that makes the roof as a whole unit pretty vulnerable to, the extreme forces. So, we need, as I mentioned before, looking at this from a construction wide. Again, recognizing that there are cost considerations that need to be factored into all this as well, right? So we can build resilient buildings, but if nobody can afford to build them, then we haven't accomplished much.
Right. Yeah. Doesn't matter. Yeah. Okay. So let's talk a little bit on workforce. It's a challenge across all the trades. The next generation. How is MCA looking at workforce development and encouraging that next generation of metal construction workers? Are you involved in stuff?
Construction workforce, the labor force in construction has been, but falling, and and we've faced shortages for quite some time as an industry, right? And it doesn't matter what form of construction, just construction in general. And so the task is a huge one, and one that construction as a whole needs to address. To that point, we serve in a part of different several alliances that are working to help address these problems. I mentioned the National Roofing Contractors Association. We participate in their roofing day and in a number of their initiatives that are designed to try and advocate for solutions or assistance in trying to address these problems, be it additional funding for Pell Grants or changes in immigration law that would allow DACA immigrants to gain permanent status. Some of these things are sensitive issues in today's environment, but we have to recognize that the labor force isn't going to grow based on our own population growth, frankly. And we need to look at all opportunities and avenues for trying to grow the pool of people that support our industry. So, our efforts have been through engagement in alliances with other trade groups that try and help, initiate and advocate for strategies to address, the advancement of construction trades as a whole.
Yeah. Yeah. I know that NRCA a few years ago got involved with Skills USA, and roofing is now a part of that competition. So I know they're doing single ply, and then the one construction group, they have a little house. They do a little asphalt shingles on there, but it'd be great to see metal added to that little house too. We'll have to work on that.
Yes, yeah, good thought. So, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about, as we move into 2026 and forward, you do hear the word uncertainty. Why is this a good time for contractors, builders, erectors, manufacturers to be more active with the Metal Construction Association and to become a member?
Yeah, several reasons. One, you mentioned the time of uncertainty. I think the other word is complexity. And it's just the world we engage in, the industry we engage in is growing more complex all the time. And association engagement, be it MCA or any others, provides everybody, fabulous avenues to stay informed, to understand what's going on, to talk about strategies for addressing many of the issues that are going on in the industry, and just the networking with your fellow your peers provides tremendous insights as to the opportunities that can be taken, and their actions that can be taken to address some of the concerns. So we really become a resource for information and for solutions to many of the problems faced by the industry as a whole. But we can't do that on our own. I mean, we need member engagement and industry engagement to help but provide the resources for building those solutions, and for in some cases just to identify what the emerging challenges are, to be sure that we're looking forward and far enough out on the horizon that we anticipate problems before they arrive at our doorstep, or we've already started to strategize solutions for those problems before they become significant issues in our industry.
Yeah, I mean, the MCA has a staff, but it's a small staff, right? So the members are the ones who really get involved, who step up to be on committees, and they, are on the board, and they help move these initiatives and efforts forward. And that's a true give back, from those members who are working in those capacities.
Yeah, their technical expertise is needed, and really dependent upon as we move these things forward. Yes, we have our technical experts, Bob and Andy, who can advance these initiatives, but having that pool of member experts to review these things, ensures that we're taking a broad approach to them, and then we're also, it ensures that we're talking about solutions that don't advocate for one particular product or another, but provide an overall solution, provide choices, across the board for contractors or members to utilize out in the field. So, having opportunity, another reason to be engaged is having opportunity for voice in creating these solutions. So that's, being able to influence what it is that the association, distributes and puts out. It's people that are actively engaged see the direct benefit of that right away.
Yeah, for sure. And so if someone's thinking about becoming a member, or they want to see what it's like, non-members can come to the winter meeting, correct?
Yeah, we allow non-members to attend one of our conferences, and we waive the registration fee for them. So they if they're interested in learning more about MCA, give us a shout at info@metalconstruction.org. and we'll be happy to get you registered and have you attend the meeting. You're welcome to attend all the events. Our winter meeting is a combination of technical and social. So there's, we have a couple evening receptions. We have awards dinner one evening, networking opportunities. So I mentioned the golf event. In addition to the speakers and our council meetings that happen at that conference.
There's also a women's dinner the one night.
Yes.
That's
Thank
always
you.
great to meet other women that are in the metal construction industry. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. And then shame on me for not remembering that, but also I'll plug the fact that Leanne Slattery comes in as MCA's first female board chair, effective January 1. And we're excited to have her at the helms of MCA moving forward.
Yeah, Leanne's great. I can't wait to be even more involved in 2026. Wow, Jeff, thank you so much for being here today and for sharing all about the association, about the winter meeting, about what you guys do for the industry. And it was a pleasure to have you.
Karen, thank you for the opportunity to share our message. The role Metal Coffee Shop plays is, we thank you. It's important to us, and we thank you for the opportunity, and happy holidays to you and all as well.
Yes, thank you. And thank you everybody out there for listening. If you're on the fence, I highly recommend attending. If not the winter meeting, there'll be another one in the summer. Usually that's in June. And get involved. It's really a great association with great people. And as you know, if you're listening to this and you're in this industry, it's a great industry as well. Metal Construction Association does have a full directory on Metal Coffee Shop, so you can always learn more over there. And we hope to see you at a future meeting. Thanks for listening, and be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform because we want to see you on a future episode of MetalCast. See you next time. Bye.